Hello, I'm John Claiborne from the Bashful Puppet blog, and we've been working on a prairie dog puppet, and so far we've got all of the seams sewed on for this yellow and orange guy, and we're ready to do the final fitting so that we can sew up the back of the puppet. I'll turn our webcam down here. As you can see, he's nicely sewn together, looking really good. I'm very pleased. But as we sew up the back of it, I've removed all the pins, so the back is just open now. And what I want to do, first off, is I'll put him on my hand so that the head and everything will be in the position he'll be in when I'm operating. And now I just want to center as well as I can the breast fabric here on the puppet. So I'm taking it and lining up the seams, not you see orange lines on here? I'm not paying attention to those anymore. Now I'm really paying attention to the seams, the actual seams, and I'm going to get that centered on here as well as I can, and then I'm going to lift it, get it into more of an operating position, and pull the fabric down so that the chest is exactly the way I want it. And then I will repin the chest fabric in place. A couple of pins up each side so that the chest fabric lies nice and smooth, but it's pinned securely. Alright, now that I've got that pinned securely, you can see 2 pins here, one on either side, so there's 4 pins holding the chest fabric. Now I'm going to turn it. I'm still going to leave my hand inside it because what I'm most interested in is getting this head fabric so that it fits it exactly the way it needs to when it is on my hand rather than when it's not. Alright. Okay. This is kind of tricky. Sometimes you wish you had more than 2 hands, but if you're careful and you plan what you're going to do ahead of time. Okay, I've got that one, and as you look at it, it's lying nice and smooth. Now I'm going to pull it in. I'm just pulling this fabric toward the back, getting it to lay exactly where it needs to. Get another pin on deck, pull it tight, hold it in place, and now put the pin in. Now I'm positioning these pins so that they will not be along the center blue line. I have a line that's drawn right down the middle of the puppet, and what I will do is once I get all of the slack pulled out of the fabric, I'm going to trim the fabric along this line. But until I get it pulled out, I'm just going to leave all the excess in place. So, alright. Gonna put a pin on deck here. Pull the slack out. I'm struggling a little bit. Alright. Looking good. Looking good. I'm going to continue working on this one side. It's easier the farther away you get from the head. Alright, now So you have left quite a bit of space. Now I'll fold that back, and now we'll work on pulling the slack out of the other side. Get a pin ready. And one more, because I had those pins in the front, I don't have to worry about dislocating the fabric for the breast while I am pulling and tugging. Now let's hold this thing up here. I can see it's laying pretty nice all the way along. So now this is like the final fitting. Take a look. We've got all of this fabric that we have to remove now that was on there before. So reach over here, get my scissors. Where are they? Here, Phil. Now I got the scissors, so let's move this. And what we're going to do is just pick a side, any side really. I think I'm going to start at the top because I can see the line here that I'm going to need to work with. Alright. What you do is just kind of look ahead, move your scissor. If you make your cuts short, you'll be able to just creep right along that edge. And even though it gets wider, the fabric you're cutting off as you go, you won't have any problem. Alright, now I've gotten down to the end of the fabric, and I'll just cut it a little wide. We'll turn. Well, let me see if I can just give you a show here. See where that line is? Can you see the line? It lies right along that line. Nice straight line. So we'll fold that back a little bit. Then we'll lay the other fabric in place. Start right at the top again and do the exact same thing along the same line with the other side. Now, if I was left-handed, this side would be easier, but I am not left-handed, so I just have to make sure I don't get in a hurry. Take my time. And if I'm careful, this seam will line right up, and it looks like it does. Now, what I'm going to do is sew up this seam. I'm going to take some thread. We'll start at the top, work all the way down using the ladder stitch, the same stitch we used to sew up this side. And when we're done, this boy will be ready to trim the bottom fabric and glue and tuck that in. And that's what we'll show how to do in the next segment. So, there's another segment for building our prairie dog, and hope you enjoyed it. Next time we'll trim the fabric to length and glue it into the bottom, and then after that I think we're going to go and put some ears on this bad boy. Alright? So, with Bashful Puppet Blog, I'm John Claiborne. Happy puppet building.